Hey there, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited you decided to return. I'm super grateful for each and every one of you who are subscribed and actually hit the notification bell so that you can always get reminded when I publish a new video like this one. I couldn't help myself. I decided to come up with 3 more ways that you can decorate your home using Dollar Tree bunny themed decor. So this first one is really stinking cute. I can't wait to show you how to make this. This is a treat jar. The hardest part of this is not eating all the treats. So, and then I made this fun little moss trimmed frame with the bunny. This last project was inspired by this Walmart little bucket. This is my version of that bucket. So cute. I love the little tassel. This turned out adorable. So stay tuned. Let's see how to make all of these projects. First up, we have this really cute bunny treat jar idea. I love M&Ms, so that's what I decided to use for this. First, you just grab any jar. This is just a mason jar. I also used a jelly jar that I found at a thrift store for this project. And then some green moss. This is the green sheet moss from Dollar Tree. And I am using a scrap piece that I had left over and just tracing out the shape of the jar lid with a Sharpie. I went ahead and cut out the circular shape, and I'm just showing you that I'm not using my good scissors. I'm not using my fabric scissors for this. I wanted to use some just regular paper cutting scissors for the moss. Once you have your green grass circle cut out, you're just going to take a little bit of hot glue and dab it around the sides of the top of the mason jar lid. Now, the moss does leave quite a mess, so I was constantly kind of cleaning up after myself as I went. It's kind of what you saw there. But just a thin line of the hot glue will work. And as you notice, I didn't have the insert in. I decided not to use the insert for this project. You could totally use the insert for this project. I don't know. I thought I'd save it for a different project. I'm weird like that. So I went ahead and trimmed off the edges of the grass around the ring. And this is what we've got. Again, another grass mess to clean up. And then I grabbed the Dollar Tree ribbon. I picked this pink, white, checked gingham style. I really liked it for spring and for Easter bunnies. And then again, it's not my fabric scissors, so it's a little hard to cut the ribbon, but we got it done. And I added a little hot glue here just to add the ribbon to the outside trim of this mason jar lid. Now I added a little bit of glue as I went, probably about every couple inches. And again, I pulled it tight because I wanted to make sure that it covered the grass at the top around the rim of the grass and didn't really show any of the metal through. So once I finished gluing on the ribbon, I trimmed it right at the closure just to give it a clean finished look. And this is where I grabbed the blue fabric scissors. Woo, they work so much better. And I decided to add a little bow. So I grabbed some more of the pink ribbon and I did one of my little baby zip tie bows. I absolutely love these bows. They are so stinking easy to make. All you need is one of these baby little zip ties from Dollar Tree. You just fold it once. I think they call that the breast cancer bow because of the single loop that you make, and then just make the second loop right after that and zip it all together in the center with a zip tie. The easiest bow next to the messy bow that you'll ever make. I love these little baby bows. They're so stinking cute. Anyway, then I'm going to take my scissors and trim the back of the zip tie off and trim up my ribbon on each side of the bow and hot glue it to the lid right there where the seam matches. I thought that would be a good spot just to kind of hide the seam a little bit for the jar. This is so easy, you guys. Now comes the fun part. You're gonna add the top. The top is this cute little bunny. I found this at the Target dollar spot. They had them, and they had 2 different poses for the bunnies, and you could use E6000 for this, any type of glue, but I used some hot glue and then screwed my lid back on top of the jar. How cute is that? And then I've added my favorite, like I said, treat, which is the M&Ms. I used a combination of the regular and the peanut flavored, just to kind of give it some texture differences, and this is how they turned out. I repeated it on the jelly jar with the other bunny posing opposite. It's so cute. Now we're getting on to project number 2. These are just a few supplies from the Dollar Tree that we'll use, starting with the galvanized floral bucket and some Waverly chalk paint in white. I like to pour it out first on a plate, just a ceramic plate, just happens to be in the shape of an egg for Easter. Now it came out pretty thick, so I decided to squirt a little water on top of my chalk paint. This will just help give it a little bit smoother texture, and I mixed it up a little bit with my foam brush and then just applied it to the bucket. I tried to get really straight, smooth lines going so that there wasn't a lot of galvanized showing through. I did end up using 2 coats of the chalk paint on this, and I was careful not to get any on the jute twine at the top. So I took my time up there. I've sped up this video a little bit just to kind of save us some time from having to watch me paint the whole thing twice. But it was pretty easy, and it turned out really cute. I dried it really quickly, hit it with the heat gun, and that really seemed to work. It actually gave it like a little crackly texture where it was a little bit thicker, and I absolutely loved it. Once it was dry, I went ahead and added a little dot of glue so that I could add some more jute twine at the edge. So when you get these buckets, they have this little rim there, and I like to cover it up with a little extra jute so that it looks a little more substantial and a little more finished out. So again, I just used hot glue, went around in a circular motion, and got this second layer of jute twine adhered to my bucket. This is totally optional. You do not have to do this, but again, I liked how it cleaned up my edge between the difference of the part of the bucket that was painted and the part of the bucket that didn't get painted. So it covered up that little extra piece of silver that would have shown through otherwise. Then I just took some scissors, snipped off the end, and made sure that it was stuck down. Now we're gonna make the tassel. This tassel is super easy. I just grabbed this little circle piece of plastic. It's just a lid off of a piece of Tupperware, and I went around and around with my jute twine. And I didn't really count, but it's about 15 or so times around. Then I'm gonna take a piece of the jute twine, fish it underneath the middle, and tie it off in a knot. This is going to create my tassel. Once it's tied, I'm going to remove it from the cylindrical item and tighten up my knot really well. Then I will use the scissors to cut the loops and create the tassel, cleaning up the bottom as I go. Now, this is your standard tassel. If you want my entire tutorial on this, I will link it below. Decided to add some really cute black and white buffalo check beads, and these came from Etsy. I can link those below as well. And a little tip is just to add a little piece of clear tape to the end of your jute so that it threads your beads a little easier. I used this technique, and it really helps with the beads because they're always a little bit different size opening. So I just used 3 simple beads for this, and then I decided to take a longer piece of jute and wrap it around the jute section of my water bucket, flower bucket, whatever you want to call it. You can really put anything you want in this bucket. I tied it in a knot and trimmed the twine again at the bottom. I just wanted it to be a little bit shorter of a tassel than I originally created, and it turned out so cute. Love that little tassel on the side there. Then to finish it off, I went ahead and grabbed these Dollar Tree bunnies. They come in a banner, and They are so cute. I just picked one that was in decent shape. Some of them, the bunny tail is a little off-centered, and actually one of them, the bunny tail was actually dirty. So I grabbed one I thought looked pretty good. I tore off the twine and the staples out of the back and hot glued it right here onto the front of the bucket. This creates the cutest bucket ever. You can add a saying to it if you want with your Cricut, but I like it just the way it is. I added a little bit of faux boxwood and some of my really cute carrots from the video that I did on the carrots, which I will also link here below. And again, I just think it's the cutest little piece of decor for Easter or anytime for spring. I love, love, love how this one turned out. The bucket just pops in the white, and it's such a cute, cute, almost farmhouse addition to my Easter decor. For this last project, I'm going to use the same bunnies, and I'm going to use a 4x6 frame and moss sheet again from the Dollar Tree, along with this peel and stick wallpaper sheet from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to take the frame first and take out the guts, is what I like to call it. So it's super easy. You just take out the back and remove the frame, the paper, the backing, the paper, and the glass little insert. Once I did that, I took the piece of paper, because it's the easiest thing to trace, and I used it as a template to cut out the section of the shiplap peel and stick wallpaper that I wanted. So this took me a few times. As you can see, there's a couple of pieces missing already. I wanted to get lined up exactly how I thought it would look best inside of the frame. And then I actually went back and just used some scrap pieces of moss I had already going for the frame. Once I cut these out, I did 4 sections and hot glued them to the edges of the frame just to kind of give it a really cute moss green look. And then I messed with it a lot, and I actually went back and added some moss that had fallen off and glued it into place. It's so easy to do with just a little bit of hot glue here. And it turned out really, really cute. And so again, the moss is really messy, so I had to continuously clean up after myself as I went. Then I put back in the guts of the frame, adding that peel and stick wallpaper as the behind the scenes base of this project. And I grabbed these bunnies again from the Dollar Tree and decided to pick one again that I thought would work. You see that bunny tail? It's really off-centered. And then some of them were dirty. So that's what you see me doing there, is kind of cleaning them off. But I went ahead and picked one that I thought would look decent, and again took the back and the staples off of it and just took a little hot glue and glued it right to the center of my picture frame on top of the shiplap. And it is so cute. I'm telling you, it is the cutest thing ever. Then at the last minute, of course, true to form, I decided to add a bow. I was picking around where I should add it, and I ultimately decided to go into the far bottom right-hand corner. And I just added a little hot glue, fussed with it a little bit, and then decided it looked done. This turned out so cute. I love this. I love this so much. This was one of the easiest projects I've ever done, and everything was from the Dollar Tree. These 3 bunny projects you guys can do in like an hour, I promise. So grab you some materials from the Dollar Tree and get to creating. I hope you absolutely loved all 3 of these projects and that you will try them for yourself. There's still plenty of time to get decorating for Easter and spring. I hope you've been inspired. If so, let me know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell and the subscribe button if you have not already. As promised, I will drop the links to the full tassel below, as well as where you can grab those cute little buffalo check beads. Until next time, my friend, stay inspired.